So, hello, future IAS and IPS officers. Welcome back to Shivam Aram IAS Academy, your one-stop channel for crystal clear explanation. I am Shivam, and today we are diving into a game-changing UPSC topic for your mains and prelims: the Government of India Act of 1919, also known as the Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms. This act laid the foundation for provincial autonomy, introduced diarchy, and shaped India's journey towards self-rule. In the next 12 to 15 minutes, I will break it down in super simple language. No jargon, no confusion. By the end of this video, you will remember every key points. So grab your notes, hit that like button for motivation, and let's begin. Now the first question is, why was the Government of India Act of 1919 was introduced? Let's go back to the World War I. 1914. World War I was happened in 1914 to 1918. Okay. India supported Britain massively. Over 13 lakh Indian soldiers fought, and we contributed crores in funds. But in return, Indians wanted more say in governance. Nationalist leaders like Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak launched the Home Rule movement in 1916. Nationalist leaders like Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak launched the Home Rule movement in 1916. You can remember for this prelims, right? Now the next is, and demanding self-government. Moderate leaders in Congress also pressed for reforms. The British were under pressure. On 20 August 1917, the British Secretary of State Edwin Montagu made a historic announcement in the British Parliament. Okay, Edwin Montagu made a historic announcement in the British Parliament. Now, the policies of this magisterial government is that of increasing association of Indians in the every branch of administration and the gradual development of self-governing institutions with a view of the progressive realizations of responsible government in India. This promise led to the Government of India Act of 1919. Now, let's understand the key features of this act point by point. Now, the first point is preamble. Now understand, the act officially accepted responsible government in the goal of India, but gradually it was a step-by-step approach, not immediate freedom. Understood? It's a responsible government. Now the second is diarchy in provinces. Understood? Diarchy in provinces. This is most important for UPSC prelims. This is the heart of the 1919 Act. This was the heart of the 1919 Act. The British introduced diarchy, meaning a dual role in the provinces. Okay. Now understand. Provincial subjects were divided into two lists: transferred subjects and reserved subjects. Transferred subjects and reserved subject. Understood? In transferred subject, now understand here. Now in transferred subjects, controlled by Indian minister responsible to Legislative Council, collected by governor, and in control by Indian ministries responsible for Legislative Council. Now example like education, health, agriculture, local self-government. ठीक है? And in the reserve subject, controlled by governor and his executive councils. Example like police, justice, land revenue, and irrigation. Understood? So, now the Indian ministries handled nation building subject, but the governor had veto power and could overrule them. Remember, diarchy was only in provinces, not at the center. Now the third is bicameral legislature at the center. Bicameral legislature at the center. For the first time, a two-house system was introduced. The first is legislative assembly. In legislative assembly, that is also called lower house. Lower house. ठीक है? In lower house, there is 144 members. There is 144 members. Okay? And in 144 members, 104 elected and 40 nominated. 104 is elected and 40 are the nominated. Understood? And the terms are 3 years. Terms was 3 years. ठीक है? Now, Council of State Upper House. In Council of State, that is also called Upper House. Upper House. Understood? In Upper House, 60 members. In 60 members, 34 are elected and 26 are nominated. In Upper House, there are 60 members. Okay? In 60 members, 34 are elected and 26 are nominated. 34 was elected. 34 elected and 34 was elected and 26 was nominated. 26 nominated. Understood? And the terms was 5 years. Legislative Assembly terms 3 years and Council of State was terms was 5 years. But now, understood here. But here is the catch. The Viceroy could reject bill, certify laws and even make law without assembly approval, called ordinance making power. Budget control was limited. The assembly could discuss but not block essential terms. So now we will move to the fourth point. Expansions of franchises. That is voting right. That is voting right. Okay. Before 1919, only 1% of Indians could vote. The act increased to about 3%. Still small, but progress. Eligibility was, now understand, इससे पहले 1% था. Understood? Now after 1919 Act, it was increased it to about 3%. 1% to 3% increased. Okay. Now the eligibility criteria is pay land revenue of 3,000 plus per year, or be a graduate, or have income tax liability. Total voters 5.5 millions out of 250 millions population. Understood? And now the fifth point is separation of power. Central and provincials. Central and provincial subjects were clearly divided. Central like defense and foreign affairs, railways, currency, and in provincials like education, health, etc. under Dyarchy. This was the beginning of federalism in India. This was the beginning of federalism in India. Now we will come to the sixth point, and sixth point is Public Service Commission. Public Service Commission. Understood? A public service commission was set up to recruit for civil services through exams. Later, it became the Federal Public Service Commission 1935. And today, UPSC, like we are preparing for UPSC. है ना? Now, the seventh point is communal electorates expanded. Communal electorates expanded. Unfortunately, the act extended separate electorates, okay, to 6 Indian, Christians, Anglo-Indians and other beyond just Muslims. As in 1909, this dependent communal divide. Now, let's talk about how act worked in practice. In 1921, elections were held. Congress boycotted them due to the Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919 and Rowlatt Act. But liberals and moderates participated. Dyarchy was introduced in 8 provinces: Madras, Bombay, Bengal, UP, Punjab, Bihar and Assam. But in reality, Dyarchy failed. Why? Now we will understand why Dyarchy was failed. Understood? In Dyarchy failed. First point, understand. Transfer subjects had less money and power. In second, less money and power. Less money and power. Okay, Dyarchy failed. Why? First is less money and power. ठीक है. Now the second is governor interfered constantly. And the third point is Indian ministers had responsibility without real power. By 1927, even the British admitted it was not working. Criticism of this act. Now we will come to the criticism of this act. Okay, and this is the most important topic for prelims. Every prelims and maybe every mains, UPSC regularly asking this type of questions in every years. So focus criticism of this act. Dyarchy was unworkable. Dyarchy was unbreakable. Franchises too narrow. Viceroy and governors too powerful. Communal electorates, no control over defense, foreign policy. Understood? Now there is one quote, and this quote was Indian leaders called it like a sun without heat. It means looks good but does nothing. So now we will come to the point like positive side of this act. Positive side. And the first point is first time Indians got ministerial post. Second is provincial autonomy began. Legislative councils expanded and training grounds for future leaders like C. Rajagopalachari, Fazl A. Hussain. Okay. So finally, the act led to the Simon Commission 1927 to review its working. Indian boycotted it. Leading to Nehru Report 1928 and eventually the 1935 Act. So, to recap, the Government of India Act of 1919 introduced Dyarchy, bicameralism and limited franchises, a small step towards self-rule but with too many British control. For UPSC, you can remember, for UPSC, relevant like remember Dyarchy table and Montagu Declaration date 20 August 1917 linked with the Home Rules and World War I. And now there is one question, why Dyarchy are sincere reforms or a British trick? If this video helped you, smash the like button, share with your UPSC batchmate and subscribe with bell icon for UPSC syllabus breakdown. Thank you.